Hello everybody, this is Ethan from the Orlando Tourist, and in today's video, we're going to be showing you guys how to max out a Men in Black Alien Attack at Universal Studios Florida. So what you just saw right there was a little compilation of some of my scores I got in the past year in Men in Black, and I've been taking pictures of them, and as you see they're in chronological order from least to greatest, and at the end I finally maxed out like 2 weeks ago. So I'm going to be giving you guys an in-depth tutorial on how to max out, and if you're just starting out I could teach you guys how to drastically improve your score. So this guide is both for Galaxy defenders that get really high scores and are close to maxing out, and if you're also just starting out and you really need a guide to help out. Universal doesn't like it too much when people film on the rides or take photos. They have a very strict filming policy. So I will be using videos and pictures from other sources, and I will be crediting them as well in the video description and on the video itself. So none of these videos or pictures are my own. I can't really make a successful video max out guide without having pictures and video from the rides. I would be wearing my Men in Black suit today if I had one, but they just keep telling me it'll be ready next Wednesday, and I keep coming back and it isn't there.
Oh, it'll be ready next Wednesday!
So we're going to start right off the bat with my first tip. I joined the MIB 900 Club on Facebook over a year ago, or around a year ago, and they have so many helpful members in their group, and they have helped me to max out. And if you ever are in the park and struggling to max out, they have so many guides on there that help. One of the things that the MIB 900 Club also usually does is they have ride throughs, so you can go on with one of the members in the group that usually maxes out, and they'll help you give a tutorial as you ride. So they'll like show you where to shoot, they'll help you out. They used to do this a lot pre-pandemic, like every day. But now they only have someone in the park every other day. You just have to ask the group if anyone's in the park, and they'll be willing to help you out. So definitely just join the group. It's free. Everyone there is friendly. Once again, the group on Facebook is called the MIB 900 Club. Definitely a great group. Check them out. So let's jump into the ride itself. When you're in the queue, towards the end of the queue, right before you board at the loading station, there are two different tracks. You have the left and right track, and they're denoted in this picture by a green and red circle. Those green and red circles are the green and red side, is what we call them. And yes, they do make a difference which one you pick. It might not seem like it at first, but I'll mention that more later in the video and explain how they do make a difference. My personal favorite's the red side. I've only ridden the green, tried to max out it a little bit, but the red is where I maxed out, and a lot of people do have a preference, so definitely try them both. Typically when I'm on red side, I like picking the inner seat, so the one closer to the inside of the station. So, cause you could turn around and hit other targets easier when you're on the ride. Now if you're on green side, I recommend picking the seat that's farther out from the station, because you can hit a baby carriage target that I'll talk about later in the video. So not only does green and red side make a difference, it makes a difference what car you pick. So, there are front and a back car when you dispatch. The front car I do not recommend. Please pick the back car. The back car will have some of the targets already open in the windows from the front car, so you won't have to wait for aliens to appear. You can score more points this way and definitely increase your score. So once you dispatch, there's an alien to your left. You do not want to shoot him because he doesn't give any points, so he's there for decoration. Don't shoot him. Don't waste your time. You want to start getting ready, and the first tip I want to give you is to find your laser point. When you hold the gun, hold it steady, and then the ride will start, and then your laser, you have to find it, because when you have a full car of riders, it may be very hard to find your laser at first. While I'm in the training room, I usually get a score of 70,000 to 80,000, and when I maxed out, I did get a score of around 91,000. Sometimes this is a greater score than some people when they finish the ride. So the training room can definitely help improve your score. Let me show you which aliens to shoot. So the first alien I shoot in the training room is one of the swinging ones on the ceiling. He has two targets. He has one that's actually lined with the target symbol, and then under it there's a hidden target on his mouth. You want to hit the one on the mouth. It gives you more points than the one with the actual target. And you can see when you're riding, it's got a little sensor. So keep your gun on the target. Now, when you shoot aliens, if you keep staying on the same alien, your points do multiply. There is a multiplier. So you don't want to keep switching targets on the ride. You want to keep staying on the same target. That's another tip right there. So when you shoot the swinging alien, keep shooting him until your car passes under him. So I'll shoot the gun, and I'll keep following upwards until I can't hit him anymore. And then there's the second alien I shoot. There's a little window on the top. There's like 3 aliens up there. It's like a bar going across the ceiling. And I shoot the one in the middle. I keep my gun pointed at him, and I keep shooting him till that one passes over me as well. And then in front of me, there's another swinging alien. So I do the exact same thing as the first one. Keep shooting him until you pass him. And then there's one straight ahead of you in the window, and I hit him as well. And this should be circled when I edit this. Another quick tip, please do not keep clicking the trigger button, please hold it down. If you hold the trigger button down, you save your muscle energy, and at the same time, you get more shots in. If you keep clicking it, you don't get as many shots. So if I literally hold the gun down the entire ride, I'll get points for that. You get points every so many shots. So if you keep clicking the trigger button, you're wasting time and you're not going to get as many points in. So before I continue the rest of the ride, I'm going to go back to the green side now. On the green side, notice the first difference is in the very first section of the training room, there is no swinging alien on the roof. So what you want to do is you want to start shooting the red side swinging alien. The red side swinging alien will give you more points when you're on the green side because it's a target that's higher up. Targets that are lower to the ground do not give as many points. So when you're on green side, hit that target, and then there will also be an alien that swings like a pendulum. Hit him as well, as he's a harder to hit target, but he will give you a lot of points as well. And then you hit the ones on the ceiling, on the bar, like the 3 aliens, before you go to the second half of the training room, like you did on red side. Those will also give you a lot of points. And then following that, you will have an alien on the ceiling, like the red side. And hit that one in the mouth as well. And then you should be good on the green side as well. Now if you do have a good laser and it works properly, you should have a good score in the training room. Now at this point, as you exit the training room, your guns do reset, not your points, just the guns take a little break, and there's not much to shoot as you transition into the next room. So do you remember when I was talking about picking your seat earlier in the video? When you're on red side, I recommend staying on the left hand side of the inner station seat, because during this transition there's not much to hit. There's the alien crash ship, it crashes, there's the one alien that pops up, he does not give a lot of points. So what you want to do is, while your gun turns back on after the transition, turn your head around, turn your whole body around to the left, and aim back into the training room, and some of the aliens will reset, so you can hit those. And I don't know if they only reset when you're in the back car or the front car, but I will recommend the back car again because they will reset when you're there. And then you can get a few points off of them. And then I also hit Frank the Pug before I even turn. So as you look at the crash ship, if you bend your body forward, then look to the right, you will see in a newsstand Frank the Pug, and I would hit his collar, give him about 2 to 3 shots. And if you don't hit him, move on. If you hit him, still move on. Just don't keep trying to focus on Frank the Pug. Don't keep trying to focus on it. Now when you're on green side, I did mention the baby carriage earlier. So while you're after this transition, you may be able to hit the training room, but after, if you look to the side of the car, there will be a baby carriage to hit. This will give you a ton of points, so keep hitting it. If you hit the side of the baby carriage, you want to keep hitting it, let your points rack up, and then a head will pop out of the carriage. So give it a few seconds. Keep hitting the carriage itself on the side to let your points keep doubling with the multiplier, then hit the alien around his neck. Keep hitting him as well, and then I'll tell you about the next target. So on both the green and red side, after you hit all those, you want to hit some of the ones in the window. These window targets are very good. They give you a lot of points. The only difference is on the red side, you have a couple light poles you pass by that may block your shot. So the green side, it is easier to hit these, but both sides, it shouldn't make a difference at this point. So keep hitting the window targets. There will be 2 windows with aliens popping out. You want to pick the one on the left and aim towards the middle of the window. And if you're not really getting points, just shift it over a little bit because there are a couple sensors in there. So if you can't hit one of the sensors, just move it a little bit and then you should hit them. And even if the blinds close and reopen, stay on the window because you could sometimes shoot between the blinds and then your multiplier will stay. So if you shoot to the other window, your multiplier will reset and you won't get as many. Now as you pass this set of windows, you come to another set of windows at the end of the wall. You want to do the exact same process. Hit the one on the left, stay towards the middle of the window, and don't let your laser off it. So around this point on the right, you should have about 200,000 to 300 or 400,000 depending on how many points you got from these aliens. So next, if you look to your left, you will see a giant eyeball sticking out of an apartment window, and it has huge tentacles sticking out from either side. Now I'm going to show a picture of this alien here on the screen. You want to hit the one with the tentacle closer to you, the one that's like pointing its gun at you, not the one that's moving it downwards away from you. Now it's his left arm, but it's the right arm that you will see. So he's holding a gun, and his gun, you will notice a giant barrel and a giant circle on the very front of it. Now if you look closely, under this giant circle is a smaller circle with little, like a glass or a plastic shine to it. That's how you know that's the sensor right there. So you want to keep your gun locked onto the sensor. Now this target is a bit hard to hit, but try to get as many shots on this as possible. This one will give you a ton of points. I try to get about like 8 shots or more on it because it's harder to hit, but it will give you a ton of points, so keep shooting it. As you go backwards into the alleyway scene with the trash, keep shooting it and then move on to the next target, which is a window target right in front of you. It should be like directly in front, or if your car vehicle turns towards the next scene, you could turn backwards, like stick your body out of the vehicle and shoot the window one as well. It's one guy opening the curtain. It's like directly behind or in front of the vehicle. So if you want to make sure that your gun is hitting the little circle target, because it's very hard to hit, if you want to make sure your gun is actually hitting the sensor, your gun will light up and it'll make a sound. Now it does this for every target you hit. Now to make sure you get a point, I wouldn't pay attention to your score during this ride. Pay attention to the target and your laser pointer, and then listen for your gun to react to when you hit a point. That's how you know if you're hitting your shots or not. If you stay too much on a target and you're not hitting points and you're not hearing that, then you're going to waste time on a target and you're taking away from other aliens. So you go through the alleyway scene next. There's not much to hit here. You do spin out a lot. It takes your photo here. Right as you exit the scene though, you'll see a bunch of bushes on the left hand side, like on the wall farther away. You want to hit the eyes in there because they will give you a lot of points. If you hit the ones on the lower left hand side, like the very first ones you see, those are easier to hit, and I wouldn't recommend hitting another set of eyes because it gives you pretty much the same amount of points, and it's not worth hitting the other ones. Just hit that one, it's easier to see. So as you exit the scene with the eyes, then you go into the scanner section. You can't really get points here, your gun will shut off again. This is another breaking point is what I call it. So whenever your gun turns off, which it happens at the big bug at the very end, at this scene with the scanners, and at the crash site right after the training room, there's the 3 sections. Rest your finger for a little bit because you've been holding down the gun this whole entire time. So definitely do that. You can't hit anything yet until you pass the scanners. And if you're doing well, you should have around 600 to 800,000 points already. Now there are some people on the Men in Black Facebook group who have maxed out before the scanners. I personally have not done that, but I'm pretty sure they're hitting targets the same way. They're just hitting more shots and getting better guns. So as you exit the scanner, you're going to hear ride audio telling you to shoot the opponent's exhaust port, the fusion exhaust port. This will give a lot of points, so please hit the fusion exhaust port. Now as you exit, both teams are automatically going to try to shoot the other team's fusion exhaust port. Now this thing they're trying to hit is right above the vehicle. It's like a stem sticking on top of the vehicle, and it lights up as you exit the scene. So you'll know what to hit. Now, as you exit, other people are trying to hit the same target, so it might not give you the points because someone else hits it. So what I recommend doing instead of hitting the fusion exhaust port right away is, if you're on the red side, please turn to your left and you will see posters on the wall, 2 of them, and there's double sets of eyes. Pick one set of eyes and stay on it till the eyes shut off, and then after a few seconds after they turn off, move over to the opponent's exhaust port, and you can shoot the exhaust port of any car all the way pretty much until the end of the hallway, like the end of the ride hallway, and as you turn into the big bug, you can pretty much shoot the opponent's car all the way up to there. Now, sometimes it won't register you hitting the car because some of the fusion exhaust ports only work at a certain angle, so some of them are kind of messed up on the sensor, so you have to get lucky with that. Now, if your aimer is able to hit the exhaust port, you will hear a little sound that I'll play in a minute, and it's like a ching sound, and if you hear that and your gun lights up from it, you know you've hit it. So keep staying on that. That will get you a ton of points. That will get you about 300,000 points right there. So keep hitting it. Now, if it doesn't work, I recommend shooting, going back to the posters on the wall because they will turn on again, and shoot that, and then try your vehicles behind you as well. And if you're in green side here and the fusion exhaust port is not working, I recommend hitting one of the parking meters. They shouldn't be hard to find. I believe the parking meter is on the red side, but if you're on the green side, since it's on the opposite track, it's easier to hit. This is the sound your gun makes when you're hitting the fusion exhaust port towards the end of the ride.
We are into overtime. We got a massive multi-tunneling under Times Square. It's going to take a hell of a lot more than a can of Buck Spray to take this one down. According to our satellites, this thing.
Now, some of you may have already maxed out at this point, but if you haven't, you still have the bonus to get you up there. Now, in order to max out from the bonus, you have to already pretty much be around the 900,000 point range, somewhere close to it, because it's only going to give you 100,000 bonus. So, now you have to hit the bonus, and the way to do this is, as you get closer to the final bug at the end, which we call the big bug, as you get close to him, you'll hear Zed come on and say, "It's an emergency," and push the red button. So you want to click the red button as he says it, but don't just click it because you might not get the bonus. You want to hold it down as he's saying it, and that should give you the bonus. Now if it doesn't, let go of the button and click it again. Now you may have gotten the bonus here. If it didn't work, next time I ride, I would recommend choosing to hold down the button at a different time as he says it, either a little before the last time you tried, or a little after, because maybe the timing was off, but that should, once you find your rhythm of pushing it, that should give you the bonus right there. So anyways, wait, what is that sound? I think it's telling you guys to subscribe to the Orlando Tours and like and comment on this video. Thank gosh that alarm wasn't anything too severe. And that's it. It does take practice to ride it. I've ridden it for years. I've only pretty much maxed out because of the Men in Black group, because I learned all these extra tips that I didn't really know. Some targets are worth more than others, and there's just all these little things to hit in the ride that I didn't know about. So definitely check out that page. Definitely practice. Keep riding it over and over. When you go into the ride, usually it'll say, like, if it says a 45-minute wait or a 20-minute wait, it's usually about half the wait that's posted. Now I recommend coming either really early in the morning because the ride should be a walk-on, and when I went to max out, I ended up riding it 4 times that day. So I rode it like kind of in the morning, and it was like a 25-minute wait, so it was actually like a 15-minute wait that I actually waited. But I didn't want to ride it again at that point because it felt kind of lengthy. So when I came back at the end of the day, it was a walk-on. There was like a 5-minute wait, and I rode it 3 times in a row. So I had about 800,000 points, 800,000 points, and then I finally got the max out before the bonus. So when you come at night, it's also a great time to ride. Even though if you do all these things, you may also have a bad gun. There are some guns on the ride with a faulty sensor and they don't shoot as well. So try a different seat next time you ride. Maybe that'll make a difference. Some guns are better than others, so just try them. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Florida Theme Park Pics, and then on Twitter at Ethan Hershaft. And stay tuned for more videos. I should be at the parks next weekend, so I should have another vlog out soon. And stay tuned.